Everyone, today you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you go to your business. There is what you do so that you can get something. How can I create wealth to a place where I have it in abundance?
I can quote a scripture in the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 10.
Yeah.
If somebody does not work, he should not merit even eating.
Yeah.
So basically, you cannot create wealth without working.
Why is there a very big gap between the rich and the poor?
Use like the Kenyan model. Part of the challenge is basically because of inequalities in wages and salaries. Even here in the church, there are even people, our Father, as we are worshiping with him, our Father, Pastor Alex, there are people he is watching. These people, if I leave this one can take care of this investment or ministry. You see, Kenyans by nature, they are not disciplined on the issues of money. A Kenyan can save tomorrow money in a bank 3,000. Then a small emergency at home, he will run to the ATM and withdraw.
Hello guys, wow. You know, wealth creation is one of the things that really help the kingdom to advance. And I love that Mr. Wetaba is here to speak more about wealth creation. Last time on this show, it was so powerful. I hope you are ready to continue with us. Karibuni sana. So Mr. Wetaba.
Yes.
Now, I was watching another video the other day. There is a woman, she just started with buying land, and then within a short period, like in 1 year, she was able to build 4 bedrooms, 78 4-bedroom. 78 of them.
Yes.
And you know, it took years for her to sell the 78 of them.
Yes.
But eventually, God opened the door and she was able to start selling.
Yes. So
within a year, she had sold the 78 and she started another project. Now she's doing another 78.
Yes.
And you know, 1 unit goes for 16 million. So you can imagine taking risks.
Yes.
You know, it's very good for us Christians to take risks. Sometimes we are too cocooned in a place where we don't want to take risks. We are just there. That woman just took land where there is no water, there is no electricity, but I was so amazed with what she did with the place.
Yes. So
kindly guys, let us not be, let us open up and let us take risks, and I know the Lord will bless the work of our hands. Now, sir, sometimes you...
And even on that, there's a myth on money, where people, especially believers, they always view money as evil. Actually, money answers everything. The only evil in money is when you love the money. But money should be able to help you, even in the church. Like if we have projects in the church, you need to participate. You will use money. You will not use now the Holy Ghost. You need now to take money. So this myth, with especially the Pentecostal, if you go to these mainstream churches like the Catholic, the ACK, the Presbyterians, they have a very different view on money. To them, they believe money is a medium of exchange. If I have money, I will live a dignified life. My family will be good. I will develop personally. I will help the community. I can help the nation. But when you don't have money, you will be very much limited. So the Pentecostal, the way you are advising them, let us remove this myth that money is evil. It is only the love of the money
that is evil.
That is evil. Where you use money to oppress the poor, you use money to harass people in the community for your own self-fulfillment.
How will the people of the world even know or want to know to love our God if we are the ones begging them? If we are the ones going to ask them for money, you know?
Right, yes.
So I think we should also just rise up and start doing this for the glory of God. Yeah, now, sometimes the word of God says that you need to leave inheritance for your children and your children's children. And most of the time you find that when you leave inheritance for your children, sometimes they don't know how to sustain it. They have gotten it, they don't know how to sustain, they fight over it. So how can you train your children when you leave them to create their own wealth or to sustain the wealth that you have made for them?
Thank you very much. That question is in two parts. The first one is how you leave wealth for your children.
Yeah.
That was the first part.
Yeah.
And how you also train them even as early as they are to start thinking about the philosophy of wealth.
Yeah.
And by the way, you are right. Me, I've seen even in the villages, somebody had huge tracts of land.
Yeah.
But when he dies or he passes on, the children, the relatives, they just come and sell all the land. Then within a short while you find even these people who had the resources, they don't have money. We have seen so many people, the rich people, I don't want to go very specific, like mostly even in the Mount Kenya, somebody who was a billionaire. But after his demise, you find all the buildings, the properties that he had in Nairobi, all of them, they were sold. And within a short time, they don't have money. Now, to address that challenge, that's the question we are raising. Number one, it all depends on the foundation you are training your people. There is a verse, although that one is very spiritual, I know it is in the book of Timothy. I remember where Paul was talking to Timothy, and he was telling Timothy, I saw the sincere faith that was in your mother and again in your grandmother.
Wow,
Isn't that? I have seen this unfeigned faith work in you. So basically, for Paul to endorse Timothy, he had already seen a series of testament from the generation. So he was sure that this person can do ministry well. Even here in church, there are even people, our father, as we are worshiping with him, our father, Pastor Alex, there are people he is watching. These people, if I leave this one can take care of this investment or ministry. At a family setup, however much you may be 10, I can tell you your father or your mother will always say, this wealth, if I live into this son, this one will take care. Now, to answer your question, number one, if it is huge wealth, maybe there are people who have wealth in millions and trillions, you can solicit for the advice of professional trustee management. Look at, let me use the notorious Moi family. The reason why the Moi family has never been controversial with the scandals or mismanagement of the resources they left behind, it is because the old man left all the investment in trustees. So the likes of even Gideon, Moi, the Jonathan and the rest, they don't have an asset in the name of Gideon. So every time they have a need, maybe Gideon want money for the campaign, they will go through this family, financial trustee or lawyer. Then through the consultant with other family members, they access money. So you can engage what we call trustees. They can run your wealth because these are professionals. They have been trained. They will advise you, no, this 2 million, if you don't use it well, very soon you will be a pauper. You can approach a financial institution like an insurance company or a bank, then they buy you what we call an annuity. So every month they will only accessing you like 30,000. So you see, these people will eat from this money for a long time. So number one, you can use what we call professional expert or trustees.
Okay.
I see that.
Yeah.
Number two, you can approach financial institutions. They have programs whereby they can redistribute for you this wealth. Then you can agree with them. You say, every month, because I have bills to meet, maybe rent, school fees, medical bills, they can be giving you 60,000. Are you using that?
Yeah.
The other option is whereby you invest in investment that are fixed. You see, Kenyans by nature, they are not disciplined on the issues of money. A Kenyan can save tomorrow money in a bank 3,000. Then a small emergency at home, he will run to the ATM and withdraw. Now, to avoid such like things, you can invest in what we call products that have what we call fixed time frames. Number one, you can choose something like commercial papers, where the bank will just tell you will only access this money after 2 years. You can also invest in what we call insurance policies, which will just bound you for like 5 years. So you cannot withdraw. You can also go to the bank and put your money in what we call a fixed deposit for a certain time. So the bank will manage your money. Then they can also tell you, instead of withdrawing the whole principal, we will only be giving you interest to manage your bills. And then if you have money, we always advise people to go for investment that lasts. And these are things like real estate. Then you put them again under a professional expert to manage them. I also used to work in the bank, Barclays Bank, the current ABSA. We also used to have, in the banking sector, there is a place where we store items and wealth for the people for a specific time. So I used to see rich people coming with their gold, coming with their titles, coming with their logbooks, coming with their assets. Then they log into the bank, what we call self-custody. You pay a certain fee, like 3,000 in a year. Very little money. You just pay some few coins, then the bank will save for you. Then you give the bank what we call let me call beneficiaries. You only assign that in my family, like let me say in my family, my father can go surrender all the titles, logbooks and everything. Then he says the only person who will be coming to check these documents is Milton Wetaba. So there will be no person, because there are some people when they get those titles, they will just sell. They will sell the land. So you can store these precious items like even a policy document for insurance, logbooks, your mineral items like gold, silver in banks. I used to see rich people and I used to ask, why are these people bringing these things? They are just trying to avoid having a scenario where careless people within this family can mismanage, because your keyword was spoiling. Because somebody would say, why should I suffer? And there is a lot there. But you see, if it has been put in a bank with specific instructions, you will find that that person cannot access. Because number one, for the bank to release that title, the person that was recommended must come with the national ID and sign. Are you seeing that? So the part B of the question, which is very brief, was how can we encourage our children? Now this one I can just talk to the small people. To the small people. The small people, I can tell them, when I talk about small people, I'm talking about SMEs, small micro enterprises, business, mtu wa kibanda, biashara ndogo ndogo. Number one, as young as your children may be, you can just tell them, if I give you 50 bob and you have used 40 shillings, 10 bob, save it for tomorrow. Now there is what we call saving pots. If you go to these markets, you will find very small pots with a hole. I always see my daughter at home. she pushed the mother to buy those pots. Actually, there are 3. So this rotten bulb that you see, it has no value. I normally see this person dropping. You may not know what you are doing, but already you are planting a culture of saving in the mindset.
That is so good.
So the way he or she is starting small, this person, even if he or she gets 2,000, will always know that 200 is for God in form of tithe, then another 200 is for myself for saving. So you can start like that. Number 2, I thank God because of the financial institution. They have come with so many accounts, what we call the junior accounts. You can encourage, you can open a junior account for your children. Then every month you put there 100, 200. By the time this child even reaches Form 1, that money will have accumulated to something useful. So just the same way we train on spiritual matters, how to help our children pray, learn to read the word of God, talk to people. In the same way, you can also train them how to start saving and also how to keep records. And even when they go to shop, you tell them when you go to the shop, write this small list. If we have sent you for milk, just go and buy milk. Don't go there and you start saying, oh, I want crepes, I want what. You just limit yourself on the budget.
Teach them to curb their appetite.
Yes.
Wow, that is so good.
So they just become financially disciplined at a very young age.
Wow, that is so good.
Yes.
I want us to finish because of time. This time runs so fast.
Yes.
But there is something that I want us to talk about before you go. Now, you say this, there is a statement you said, someone can be earning 15,000.
Yes.
One will take a mortgage.
Yes.
The other will maybe get a rent of 3,000. The other will get a rent maybe of 8,000.
Yes.
These people have made different financial decisions, and it will cost them.
Yes.
So between the 3, who do you think has made a good financial decision in the long run?
In a life, you will get always 3 people. In this life, you will always get 3 people. Okay, I don't like people being called hustlers. I saw another one calling them now strugglers. Okay, in the Bible, some are being referred to poor. You will always get the poor in a life, the middle class.
Yes, and the rich.
Middle class, no wonder wakatikati. Neither rich nor poor, watu wapo katikati. Just has enough to make life, then the rich. Now, you asked among the 3 who made the worst or the good decision. Okay, the one who made the worst decision, let me begin from there. And this one is on a slow journey to poverty. Is the one who made the decision of earning 15,000 and going to live in a house of 8,000. It means this person has only been left with 7,000, and you see he has not sorted out other issues. In life we have what we call Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There is what we call basic needs, secondary needs, tertiary needs, then self-actualization. When you see people running for politics, it's not because they like it's just self-actualization. That name, Eugene. But it will be improper. Somebody who has not addressed the basic needs like food, shelter, clothing, you go to run for politics. You have gone the ladder upside down. So this person who goes for very big things, big house, flashy things like big phone. Sometimes you go to these houses, you find somebody is earning a very small income, has a big fridge of 80,000. Then you ask yourself, now the person is telling you, sina capital ya biashara. Why can't you sell that fridge itampatia 80,000?
Your fridge member status.
Yes, why can't you get even a fridge of 15,000? Because at the end of the day, what you only need, the purpose of fridge cooling off, whatever. Then 80,000 you plan. Or you find even somebody with a very big flat screen. Very common, especially in our community and the local community. Somebody living large, or even 5 phones, smartphones. I think that. So such like a person is on a wrong decision. Now the middle one is the one who went for 3,000. Now you're in the middle class. with the time, with this 15,000, because 3,000 and maybe he's saving 3,000. Now the saving will sort him in the long run. Maybe it can help him even to buy a plot and build. Now the one who made a very good decision is one who went for a mortgage. A mortgage, number one, within some time, definitely it will end, and the house will be left for you. Yes. Before I came here, I had been approached by an MCA to draw for him a financial plan. They have just been added some income, and he had given me various options. And eventually I told him, your time frame is always 5 years, and you are not sure if you will be re-elected. So if you go for an investment that either it will be deducted for more than 5 years, it will not be a good decision. So I told him, take this and just buy a plot somewhere and do rentals for your investment. So those three, one is on his journey for poverty, another one will be in the middle, then another one is on the journey for
financial advice is very important. For you to create wealth.
Very critical. And I'm saying that because I want to, you say time is up, I wanted to finish by my own personal testimony.
Hi, my name is Laura Jumba. Thank you for following me every Thursday afternoon. Now subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a video. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Holy Gate of Heaven Ministry. We will be back after the break.
Before you go to your personal testimony, I want you to talk about debt.
Oh, fine.
You know, this thing called debt is making many people go around in vicious cycle. And also, some people think debt is bad. So can you just highlight debt according to you?
Okay, debt. The way I understand debt in a layman language, because we are talking to so many people daily. Debt in itself is not bad. Debt is good, depending on, number one, how you use the debt. What is the purpose of the debt? Are you using that? There is always a rule for money. The other day, I was learning in the service something called order and protocol. Even in wealth creation, there is what we call wealth creation protocol. And the rule of wealth creation, it says, make more money, spend less, and avoid debt. But there are times where you cannot avoid debt. Now, to answer your question, there is sources of debt. It can be through external borrowing. You know, external borrowing can be from banks, financial institutions, online lending, and even from people. And this is very common. We are African. Now, if somebody takes a debt, like a business person in town who has a business, takes a debt to increase stock, that is a good debt. What do I mean? After some time, he will sell the stock, he will be able to pay that debt. Isn't that? If I take debt for my further studies, I am investing in myself. Education is the best investment, you know that. Because education will always remain. And education will always open for you opportunities. In fact, it is only the avenue that neutralizes both the poor and the rich. So if I get debt to finance my education, though in the short run I will struggle, but in the long run, when I start getting high increase in my income, in my salary, or even the way I make decision, it will help me. that is a very good investment. If I take a debt to buy a plot somewhere for commercial purposes, that is a good debt, because that plot will be a growing value with the time, or even to build rental houses and such like. That is a good debt. If I take debt to start a business, very good. So debt in itself is not evil. Now, a debt becomes bad depending now on the purpose, and I will only highlight very few because of time. Number one, as I said earlier, if, let me say, a youth wanted to do wedding, then he discovers he has no money maybe for other budget items that are remaining, because a wedding costs a lot of items. Maybe you discover, hey, I don't have money for the cake, for the vehicle, then you go for the debt. That is a bad debt. Though family in itself is good, everybody want to have a good family, but you see you are investing on something that
will not bring
returns,
back.
isn't that? So that's a bad debt. If you take a debt to buy very expensive items, flashy, you want to live flashy, maybe you are a celeb, it is very common with the celebrities. You want to go for a very big machine, 3,000 cc kama ni gari, you go for 2 million, Mercedes Benz. He's in Germany, and let people know that in Bungoma I'm the only one who has Germany Benz. Or you want to go for very expensive for rings, gold. That is a very big bad debt. I've even seen in our community, even here in this land, where a very big professor takes a loan during circumcision. Like in this community, circumcision will be next year. Somebody takes a loan to do those celebrations. Those are very bad decisions, isn't that? Or another one whereby I take a debt to take my family for a very expensive holiday, maybe Dubai. And that one is very so common. When I get some time, I will be talking about personalities. We have 4 personalities. We have the melancholic people, we have the phlegmatic, we have the sanguine, and the choleric. Sanguines are the worst in terms of money. Why debt? A sanguine, because of excitement, because these people, they love life. A sanguine can take a loan, even he has not paid rent, he has not paid school fees, he has not paid food, and a Mombasa show. Then when he comes back, he discovers, hey, I have not paid rent. So, if you are a sanguine, try like people who are not married. Me, I'm privileged to God that God helped me, though I had not read this personality. Me, I'm more of a sanguine, choleric. I talk sometimes, but my wife very melancholic. When you want to do something, I want to no.
So marry someone. Marry someone who will help you.
Not same personality.
Two sanguines.
You are can you imagine a family of 2 sanguines? Can we go to Mombasa? Yes. Which vehicle will be using? Mercedes. I see that. Or we can use the train. Or we can use even the aeroplane. I see that. So those personalities, like a melancholic. There are people. Let me use somebody even in our ministry whom I know, our chairman Yonga. That is a pure melancholic, very quiet, very reserved. Very connected people. Our pastor is choleric, you know, he's a risk taker. Sometimes he announces a very big project, but I become shaken. So, a melancholic like, and you see those choleric are those people who push, if you want big things, big visions, like Apostolic Money, Apostolic Money, our dad, Pastor Alex, Bishop Mark, the William Rutos, the Raila, those are choleric. These are people who are ready to take risks. But melancholic now, everything, including a tie.
They calculate.
He can think the tie this person will buy for the next 1 month, even the shoe. Just look at the clothes these people they do. But melancholic can even put on, if you go to a house of a sanguine, you can even find a lady having 50 pairs of shoes. That is a sanguine. But a melancholic lady will even find her with 4 pairs of shoes, but very specific. They may be expensive, but very specific. So bad debts you avoid on such like things. Just understand your personality and know that every personality has its strength and its weakness. A sanguine is good because this is a man of the people, a woman of the people. Where this person is, there is always life. Are you seeing that? Choleric, they push the agenda. But sometimes they also get annoyed very fast. Are you seeing that? Melancholic, very reserved people and very critical. In fact, if you have a church of many melancholics, these are the people who bring a lot of politics in everything, including the sermon, including the stories. They are very choosy on everything.
So what about phlegmatics?
Phlegmatic are the quiet people. In most cases, these are the people who are used to bring peace. You remember our Kibaki, the Kibaki president, very quiet but very systematic. Very systematic. These are peaceful people. The Kofi Annan, the guy who came to Kenya to bring peace. These are phlegmatic because they are too reflective, they conservative. And by the way, phlegmatic people, if you follow them through in their friendship book, they always have not more than 10 people as friends, but their friendship lasts. A sanguine may have 200, but when first in need, they don't give. Because they of those what we call
that's
trust.
Amazing, sir. Thank you so much. You know, you have enlightened us even more than we thought.
Yes.
Wow. Now, sir, you can give us your personal testimony before we finish.
My personal testimony, I wanted to say it here, Kwamba. Number one, what we are doing here, it is more prophetic. In the year 2005. Okay, I graduated in the year 2004 at the university, banking and finance option. I have never opened. And I wanted, as I give this testimony, I want just to motivate somebody, maybe who has lost everything in life and he had given up. He had given up completely. As I finish this, I'm not just talking, I'm talking about things personally I've seen. Because sometimes people understand why were you in Nakuru at what time. In the year 2004, I graduated with Egerton University, banking and finance. Then I was privileged. I never tarmacked. By the way, I got salvation in 1999. But if I give my record, sometimes nearly up and down, and you will see from my testimony. So when I was employed, can you imagine coming from a poor family? You have just graduated, the first salary 40,000. Then after 1 year, God was so gracious. In 2006, I was promoted to business customer advisor. But now with the Barclays Bank, the current Absa Bank in Nakuru, from 40,000 to 150,000. And because I liked somebody to mentor me, you have just come from university, you have never heard about these things. We want, if somebody will come to my house, you will see a photo I took with my wife and my firstborn, Charlie, called Precious, when we were enjoying life in Mombasa. Actually, my wife, she was putting on the t-shirt of my employer, that is Barclays. So when this money came with a bank, actually I was moving with a very big speed. The first permanent house in our village was constructed by me. That was in 2008. Then things were working well. I did a wedding. And because now of a lot of money that has come, and you never had a lot of plans, pride came into my life, serious pride. I used to go to Kingdom Seekers of Apostle Kimani. He could always ask me, where is my son? Where is my son? Actually, he had even put me in a very serious ministry of finance because I was a banker, Barclays Bank in Nakuru. We were the people who were counting resources. I'm talking this because it is online and it can be verified. So actually, I was staying in a house of 20,000. So when I was saying of bad decision, I'm personally talking to myself and the things the grace of God has helped me. Then when I finished doing my house, then I went for mortgage. I constructed a very big house in Mumias town by that time. So I used to see, now I am arrogant. The question you are asking, I use now to undermine people, talk large. When I come to the village, I want to show people there was a time of having so many big political ambitions. It's a long story, but now to cut the whole story short, God saw that this guy has potential, but the rate at which he is going at the pride, he may not survive. Then what happened, we were just playing games, kabuni. Then all of a sudden I just lighted and I fall down. Then I thought it's just a minor dislocation. Then in the evening I told the wife, this is not a dislocation. So I rushed to Memorial Hospital in Nakuru. So it was complete fracture. So I was imposed in there at home for 1 year.
Wow. Okay.
Without going to work. In fact, when there are photos I have when I was walking through crutches. And God will talk to me, change, go back to where you became, go back to ministry, go back. But now in the pride pesa, Saturday you go to watch football, you live large in Nakuru and the rest. By the way, I had just married and I had done even a marriage through a wedding. So immediately I came to work in 2012. In my house I have photos. Actually I have only 4 photos in my life. One for my graduation, another one for my wedding, another one with Apostolic man when he was dedicating my firstborn child, then another one with Musalia Mudavadi. So when Musalia Mudavadi came in Nakuru in 2012, then I left work, then I went for his meeting. When I came back, I found a customer who was waiting for his loan. Then without doing due diligence, I approved this loan very fast of 1 million. Only after 3 months it turned to be bad. So I went for those disciplinary and grievances issues. Then eventually they told me I did not follow the procedures of the company, so I was terminated. And it was very painful coming from 150,000 to down. You have a mortgage, you have other issues to sort. Then okay, God still loved me. He had talked to me like I had constructed at home. I told my wife, let's get organized, you go back and stay to that house as I reorganize myself. And that's why I love my family so much, because of the journeys we have gone through. Now, by God luck, I was almost getting lost in it never worked. I remember testifying even in churches, issues of politics, how it became. That's the time now I landed into politics. Then good luck, again God spoke to me. That's why whatever I'm doing today is prophetic. I know it's going to be, it motivate people for them. So then God opened a door here in Bungoma with a company called CIC Insurance. I came as a unit manager here. Then after 6 months, we were in another church with some brothers in our ministry like Gaddafi, Flavia and the rest. Then all of a sudden, joined Pioneer as a branch manager. Then I told Gaddafi, can we change church? In 2016, I joined this ministry. I can tell you, from the day I joined this ministry, 80% of what I lost has all been restored. All of them. But I'm only remaining with the 20%. I was sharing with my wife. It is only remaining getting now land, putting on a beautiful home, now free of debt. Because that one was a 5 million but mortgage, because I had to sell it at that time because of mortgage. So when I came here, looked at the vision of the man of God, I saw the vision, and I told God, you can still resurrect what died in my life. And I can tell you, even as I conclude this issue of wealth creation protocol, that with God on our side, we must be millionaires. Then finally I can say that as I conclude my testimony, if I do a personal evaluation of the things I have acquired through this ministry, supersedes even that 150,000. There was a time I could cry. Jumba, I was crying on dead horses. Why did I waste this 150,000? But I've discovered God had a purpose to allow that job to go, because yesterday when you invited me for this show, God confirmed the purpose in my life through this show. I was praying yesterday, I never just wanted to come and do the show. I asked God very critical question, and by the way it started on a Sunday after our father spoke about things that matter. Then I asked God a very critical question. Why did you bring me to this life? Did you just bring me to have a suit, to have a wife, get children, have a house, have some rentals, then live wealth and you go? God told me no. Through the show you are going to give people as I end. God spoke to me that I allowed you to go through those financial messes so that now through this platform you are going to restore so many people who are in financial messes. And I think yesterday now I got my call. I have even struggled here in the ministry at times. I'm in protocol. Another day you find me in ushering. Another day I tell the boy I'm in evangelism. I tell the pastor Steve we are going for evangelism. But yesterday God laid it very bare that even as the man of God does his spiritual part, other people does their praise and part, others do their evangelism. I have gotten my calling that if I focus on restoring families that are in financial messes, either they made decisions, they have landed themselves in the hands of auctioneers, bad loans, God is a God of the second chance. The one who reinstated me completely and has given me even a car, he has given me a family, he has helped me even construct for my people good houses. That God can reinstate me. When people had already written me off, God has reminded me of. And I want to finish by making a quote from Eliana Roosevelt, even as a sign off, that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow, guys, I am so impressed. I am so, the knowledge that this man of God has is just amazing. Sir, thank you so much for accepting to come today, and I believe that someone out there will be helped. Kindly, if you have any question, if you have any comment, please comment, please share this content. I know that it will help someone for them to move from poverty, to riches in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. May you be blessed so much. You can find us in all our social media platforms, Holy Gate of Heaven Ministry in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and and also our website is www.hhmbungoma.org. Thank you so much. Until next time, shalom, and kindly share, subscribe to my page. God bless you.